The gift of Gerbert's feathers. From the moment his eggshell cracked and his bill first peeked out, everyone knew Gerbert was a special goose. Gerbert tried to fly from the moment he hatched. Adventurous, his mom declared. Courageous, his dad agreed. Adorable, they both honked. Gerbert felt safe and warm in his nest. It was filled with family and love. Each night, the whole flock sang together. In sun and rain and ice and snow, feather to feather, we're always together. Gerbert was a joyful gosling. Gerbert and his friends splashed in shallow water and swam in the lake. They also played chase in open grasslands, flapping their wings wide to tickle each other. They waddled in a line after Gerbert, playing follow the leader in the grain field. Gerbert grazed on grass. Gerbert snacked on sedges. Gerbert munched on skunk cabbage leaves. Gerbert was especially fond of blueberries. He was the best at removing kernels from corn cobs. Yet, no matter how much Gerbert ate, he barely gained weight. As his siblings grew, Gerbert kept his shorter neck and smaller bill. But Gerbert felt strong. Gerbert felt vibrant. Every year, Gerbert's family migrated south with thousands of other geese. The huge V-shaped flocks filled the sky. Gerbert's wings were shorter, so he had to flap faster than other geese. But he always kept up in the Great Migration. As they flew, they would sing. In sun and rain and ice and snow, feather to feather, we're always together. Flying in front takes the most energy, so leading the V was a special honor reserved for the strongest. Gerbert's dad was often at the front. He led the flock. One year, Gerbert's dad called back to Gerbert to join him. Gerbert had fallen behind, but he gathered all of his energy to catch up. He flapped and flapped. As Gerbert reached the front, his dad's strong wings lifted the air around him. Gerbert looked behind him and saw his community, his family, his neighbors, his friends. He was leading them all. The next season, Gerbert felt less hungry, even for blueberries. He was too tired to play or honk. His droppings were watery. His feathers were falling out. Gerbert had always felt small but strong. Now he felt fatigued and frail. He could only watch while his siblings and friends played, but when he remembered leading the V, he felt proud and strong. One morning, Gerbert overheard his uncle ask his dad, "Will he migrate this spring?" Gerbert pretended he couldn't hear their whispered honks. "His body is weak, but we would never leave him," Gerbert's dad said. "We will keep trying to heal and comfort him, but he may die before the winter flight. I know we're sad, but we need to be strong for Gerbert." Gerbert worried his family would miss him, but he was relieved his body would not have to join the migration. He felt comfort thinking that he would again be with his grandmother who had died years ago. Gerbert noticed his dad was being more protective. His mom was making sure to bring him the freshest blueberries and the largest corn kernels. His siblings were not drawing the migration map with him like they used to, and his friends were not coming to play anymore. Gerbert felt lonely. He wished someone would ask him how he was feeling. He wanted to talk about the way his beak felt dry and his neck felt heavy. The weather started changing, and Gerbert knew that his body would not be able to join his flock in flight. But he wanted his family to know that they could always close their eyes and imagine taking flight together. He needed to know he would always be remembered as a strong goose who loved his family and who led the V. "I know what I can do," thought Gerbert. "I will share a part of myself. I will share my feathers." Each day before the migration, Gerbert lifted a fallen feather from his nest. Into each feather, he whispered a word. For his dad, he whispered, "Protective strength." For his mom, he whispered, "Comfort." For his 4 siblings, he whispered, "Joy, growth, peace, and courage." For his grandfather, he whispered, "Wisdom." For his neighbor, he whispered, "Gratitude." For his teacher, he whispered, "Patience." For the bully goose on the river bend, he whispered, "Forgiveness." For his friends, he whispered, "Hope and loving kindness." For his aunt and uncle, he whispered, "Forever and ever." When the time felt right, Gerbert and his family shared their thoughts and fears. Gerbert told his loved ones that he worried they would be too sad to fly without him. He wanted them to take flight together, to be safe and happy, and to always have something to remember him by. Then, one by one, Gerbert shared his feathers. Gerbert's whole family cuddled close. Each goose put one of their own feathers around him and honked their final goodbye, giving him permission to let go. He felt warm, safe, and peaceful. Together they honked, "In sun and rain and ice and snow, feather to feather, we're always together." Gerbert closed his tired eyes. He felt relief. Gerbert honked his last, "I love you," and gave himself permission to enter into death as his final migration, just as winter was arriving. Gerbert's family and friends each tucked Gerbert's gifted feather into their wings and lifted into the sky. They circled Gerbert's nest and honked. Gerbert's dad took the lead. Protective strength, leading comfort, joy, growth, peace, and courage. Wisdom, gratitude, patience, forgiveness, hope, loving kindness, and forever followed. Every year, the geese returned to Gerbert's final resting place, carrying his gifts and honking their song. In sun and rain and ice and snow, feather to feather, we're always together. In sun and rain and ice and snow, feather to feather, we're always together. In sun and rain and ice and snow, feather to feather, we're always together.